go. So, hi everyone, it's Paul Cohen here, just connecting with you again, doing these Zoom in Touch podcasts. Basically, I'm doing them because there's people that I know around the world who are really experienced in working with people, whether it's doing body work, whether it's doing yoga, Qigong, and I know a lot of people and a lot of really skilled people, and I'm going to call on them and ask them if they could share with us what's going on in terms of how we can maybe do something to help ourselves through this crisis, which is in many ways just at the start of the challenge of it in terms of being locked down. And so I've got here Tim, one of my best mates in the world. We've done some really cool work together. Tim is a master of his work, and I mean that, with his Qigong, with his martial arts, and his body work, and such a cool guy. And Tim, welcome.
Hi, thanks, Paul. Thanks
give a little intro of yourself, of how you'd like the world to know you.
Yeah, well, actually, it's you that brought me into the world of therapy. So I think not forgetting that. Actually, you're the initiator of a lot of things. And so I was in martial arts long before I met you, but I came to you because of the problems I was having in martial arts and business, and then being totally stressed out and not able to cope with stuff. And then you flipped that all the way around and they made my life very different, which is then what brought me to the zero balancing path with you in '97 when I first came to see you, and that just totally changed my world, and that actually introduced me to the energy world of working with energy, working with the body. I was so used to just working physically and not really with the mental or the energy, and then it's because of that, actually, because of your work, I then, with my interest in martial arts, then went in search of the energy masters, and that's where I came to find my Shaolin grandmaster. So yeah, you prodded that button and made the things churn and go just as you're doing now as well. It's great.
I'll tell you one of the things that, and there's many things that I feel very impressed by the way Tim has navigated through the world, and I remember him saying to me many years ago, and I'll parrot the story because I don't know how completely accurate it is, but the flavour of it is that Tim was at an age where he was playing a lot of football, but had asthma. And he went to his doctor, and his doctor said, "You'll have to stop playing football because you've got such bad asthma." And how old were you then? 10, 12?
Actually, I was 6 years old when I first went into the doctors, for the doctors to tell me that I wasn't going to be like ordinary kids.
Okay. And was that the time that you then turned around to the doctor and probably stuck your fingers up at him and said, "I'm going to get over my asthma," and went home and never had asthma again? That's my memory of your story.
Yeah, pretty much was like that. I went home and I thought, I don't like the idea of this. So every day I sprayed my inhalers away, just the right amount every day. So I'm not recommending people do this, but this is what I did. So I sprayed it away every day, just right amounts. When I went back into the doctors, and they would, "Oh yes, you need your next inhaler." And I did then start playing football, doing other things, swimming, and then later on got into the martial arts and thought, that's not the life for me. And so I turned that around and then just became, that healthy kung fu freak that I became with all the stuff that I did.
Yeah, and you also had an experience of being in hospital for some time too. Do you want to just share that? And the reason why I'm kind of talking, getting you to share this, is that we all go through stuff. It doesn't matter who you are. We're all challenged with something somewhere in our life. Sometimes more things come up that we're challenged with, and this is just life. And this is a global challenge. But anyway, what were you in hospital for, and how old were you?
Well, I've had a few bouts in hospital. So the first one, first one was with the asthma, so bad that I was in the oxygen tents to help me breathe. Yes. So that was the first time around, and then the many times after that was through accidents. So I was really at that time accident prone. So I would have a lot of things damage myself in hospital. And then in my adult life, I went in hospital for gallbladder problems.
Yeah.
And that was a great learning experience, really good learning experience about myself.
Yes. So that's so cool, isn't it? So you've had 3 quite major things going on for yourself.
Yeah.
Potentially life-threatening too. And
Yeah.
you've come out of those going, that was a really great learning experience for me.
Yeah.
I mean, if we can do that, isn't that pretty cool? Isn't that a good way?
I agree. But that's how I think about this situation.
Yeah.
As well. It's not that I want to get coronavirus or want anybody to get coronavirus, of course not.
Yes.
But actually, when we're in a situation of crisis, that's often our best opportunity to learn about ourselves, develop. That, I mean, that is the opportunity to make those leaps and changes that we need. It's the world's way of saying, come on, guys, stop, listen. You need to do something.
I've said for a long time that if we're looking at some change that feels really good and substantial for us as people on the earth, because the world has become kind of less personalized in many ways, and there's a lot of us that would like the world to be slightly different and a bit more happy and healthy for ourselves. But the change for me is like, you need to get to that place almost of no return before you make some kind of a change. The person that has an illness because of diet, when the illness gets so bad that they then change their diet, they thank the illness because now their diet's changed and now they're back being healthy. And so this is a place like that. This is like, where is it going to go? What are we going to do? I don't know.
Yeah. You only know how much fight you've got in you when you're being beaten down. In the Kung Fu, it's easy to spar with people when they're not as good.
Yes.
But when you come across somebody that's challenging, then you've really got to go back and develop yourself in order to meet that challenge. And it's the same with this. It's how do we meet the challenge? We can't expect the world to change if we don't change.
Absolutely.
So, this is our opportunity to make those changes in a way that's going to help. So, yeah.
Change has to come from within.
It does.
Yeah, it does. So, Tim, what would you, because I'd like to just tap into your wealth of wisdom, and I know, and seriously, it's so vast, but we need things that people can use today that's simple, that's non-esoteric, that is just down to earth. How can I support myself when I'm struggling, when I'm at home and I'm on my own, or I can't see my kids, or I can't see my grandkids, or my mother's in the other side of the world, all this kind of stuff. We're all going to be going like, what do we do? Give us some tips.
Well, there's lots of people in that situation at the moment, and often I've been blamed for being too enthusiastic and an optimist. But really, I think it's a realist, because it's a matter of perspective.
Yes.
And I think it depends what perspective that we come at this from.
Yes.
And whatever situation, whatever difficulty somebody's in, we've all been through difficult times. We have an opportunity in that time just to catch a different gauge of it.
Yeah.
So if we look at it from the Qigong perspective, when you practice Qigong and you practice it in the easiest, most simplest way that you can, you stand upright and you relax physically, mentally, emotionally. You watch your breath. Yeah, you observe your breath. You observe the body, and you observe what's happening in your body here and now. You don't worry about what's going on then. You're just living in that moment, watching your body, your breath, as the body, the mind, the emotions start to relax, and you smile from the heart. Now that's actually one of the greatest tools that we can do that is really practical, which is just smile from the heart, relax, watch the breath.
Yes.
And then you notice the things that are changing. Of course, that stuff's still happening around you, around the world, but we all have the same tools
Yes.
in our tool bag.
Yes.
Everybody has. They have the body, they have the mind, they have breath, and they have energy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So as long as we're alive, we always have those things. So we've all got the same tools, everybody in the world, to deal with. The difference is how we deal with them. And the thing is, for you and I and other people that do this kind of thing, what we do has become ordinary to us because we just do it every day. We practice it, we live it.
Yes.
But for other people that aren't doing this, it can seem esoteric.
Yes.
When we talk about where the mind goes, energy flows, people go, I don't know what you mean.
Yes.
But actually, if you put your mind to something and that's negative and it's worry and it's anxiety, well, guess what? That's what you're going to be feeling.
Yeah.
If you're putting your mind to physical relaxation, watching the breath, feeling what it's like as you let go of held tensions, just stay gently present in the moment, not trying to make any big changes, but just being. Being. That's all that needs to be happening in Qigong. Energy starts to flow and things start to get better.
Yes. Yes.
So that's the most simple side when you smile from the heart and do that.
So hey, you've influenced me, and I know I've influenced you, and there are a lot of things that we do that have similar flavors to them, and I thank you for that, because there's a lot of things that I've introduced into my work and my yoga which has that sense of ease. Do you want to take us through 5 or 10 minutes of meditation, or sorry, of doing this standing and doing your breath and quieting your mind? Yeah.
That's the thing, because we can talk about it, but it doesn't make much sense unless you feel it.
No, this is practical.
You've got to experience it. So let me just move this chair out of the way.
So if you're at home, you can do this. You can watch it later on. Yeah, that's perfect.
So can you see where I am here?
Yeah, if you tilt your computer just up a tiny bit, because just the tiniest little bit, if you can. Yeah, that's great. Yeah,
that's good. So the first thing is just make sure you've got a bit of space around you. Okay, so when you practice this at home, you just want enough space where your arms can reach around you. That's it. That's all the space that you need. You just need the space in which a buffalo can lie. You don't have a buffalo, you do hands. Okay? The next thing is that you have your feet just underneath the hips. Yeah. So they're not wide and they're not too close, but they're just underneath the hips. So then everything can stack up neutrally. You can parallel, but not out wide. Okay. The idea of this is to get to a place where there's the least amount of resistance, the least amount of tension, and the least amount of efforting. And if you're not efforting, it means that you're already naturally in a place of ease. So the Qigong way is by having the feet parallel, the knees relaxed, the sits bone just gently tucked underneath. So you just roll in the sacrum a very small amount so that you're not tensing or clenching any of the muscles in your buttocks or legs. If you're not used to this kind of thing and the idea of rolling the sacrum underneath or the sits bone doesn't really work for you, then don't worry about that part, just cut that out. But if you're used to yoga practice, meditation, Qigong, Tai Chi, or any movement things where you've got that nice awareness of the body, where you can just gently move something without too much effort, then see what it's like just to gently roll the sacrum underneath without any muscular engagement. So that all the muscles in the leg at the moment are doing the least amount of effort that they possibly could. The knees are relaxed, but not collapsed. Okay? Then just making that space between the hips and the ribs. You've got some space here. And from inside, there's a gentle uplifting as the chest gently opens. The arms are relaxed at the sides of the body, like this. The moment your arms come to the sides of the body, then the chest opens and the heart and lung meridians open. But again, just notice whether or not you're making any efforting in your shoulder muscles. If your shoulders are making too much effort because the arms are moving too much, just relax them. Just let it relax but not collapse. And then the fingers are gently pointing towards the ground. And as my Sifu says, so that they're not like prawns. Yeah? So you don't want your hands like prawns. They want to be gently pointing to the ground like this. The moment that you gently point your fingers to the ground, and you're used to any kind of energy work, you feel that surge of energy flowing through the body as well. It just opens up the pathways nice and easy. Again, no muscular tension here. You're not making effort or big stretches or anything else like that. So now you're in this upright position. The chin just very gently gets tucked in just to release the muscles at the back of the neck. Some people's heads are up like this and other people's heads are down like this. So it's just the chin just gently comes back to release the muscles at the back of the neck. Okay, arms relaxed. And the mouth is gently open. When the mouth's gently open, the muscles in your face relax. When the muscles in your face relax, that's already telling your brain, I'm relaxing. And we call this entering a Qigong state of mind. Entering a Qigong state of mind means relaxing physically, mentally and emotionally. And this part allows you to relax physically. And then when we close our eyes and gently focus on breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth, we give the mind something to do. So we relax mentally. And it doesn't matter if any thoughts or images come. They just come and they go. Just let them pass on by like clouds in the sky. You don't have to do anything with them. Just return your awareness back to your breathing, breathing in, breathing out, and enjoying your breath. Enjoy the feeling of the breath coming in and the breath coming out, wherever that is for you. If you're abdominal breathing, that's great. If that's not what it's like for you, just enjoy your gentle breathing in and out. Muscles in the face relax, muscles in the body relax. And any emotions, feelings, or anything that comes up, you don't have to do anything with that either. Again, just bring your awareness to what it's like to be you right now, standing upright and relaxing. And we don't have to try and maintain being upright because that would take tension, that would take effort. And effort can lead to thoughts and tension. We don't need those right now. There's just a gentle awareness of uprighting, which is a fluctuating change as the body adjusts itself to letting go of unnecessary tension. And the beautiful thing about this is that you don't have to do anything at all to make this happen. The less you do, the more it happens by itself. And so you can just be the rider enjoying the process here. Breathing, relaxing, noticing what it's like. Being relaxed physically, mentally, and emotionally. And then smiling from the heart. Just as you would smile from the face, you smile from the heart. And then you can gently open your eyes to follow the next exercise. But once you learn this exercise, you can do it with your eyes closed if you like. So just bring your arms to this position here for lifting the sky. And then breathe in as you bring the arms up above your head. Gently push up and then bring your arms down to the sides of the body, back to that original position. That's it. And you just pause there. And then ready position, breathe in. And there's a second pause. Gently push up and breathe out, not rushing to get to the next movement, but enjoying the pause. Because it's the pauses that can also allow things to change for you. It's actually when we stop doing things, when we stop efforting, that things can work themselves out. You can imagine that this is the world's way of making us stop right now. Stop and increase our awareness. Stop and release tensions. And as we lift the sky, we're introducing the body into releasing, letting go, and also experiencing flow of movement, flow of breath. movement now, the body connecting to the mind connecting to the breath. And all of this is happening without effort, without you making tension, without tightening any muscles, without really having any idea why you're doing this. Because it really doesn't matter. Yeah, so, Paul said Tim's a great Qigong master. So I guess this would be a really good thing to do right now. And it is, because this exercise has been around for thousands of years, helping people increase their health, build up immunity, and increase resilience. And people are now realizing that things like yoga, Qigong, Tai Chi, and other things that have been really useful for the mind-body connection are really helpful for us. And so we just lift the sky. And for the moment, it's like, this is the best thing that you could possibly do right now, because actually you are doing it right now. And you just enjoy the movement and the breath and the relaxation. And you remember just making those little pauses between that ready position, pause at the top before you push up, and then breathe out as you come down. Good. It doesn't matter how many times you do this, it's roughly 15, 20, 25 times. Doesn't really matter, you don't have to count. And then now allow the arms to come down to the sides of the body, return back to that original position with the eyes closed and the mouth gently open. And if you want to feel what it feels like for energy flowing through your body, just allow your body to gently sway. Now, for some people that practice, but if you want to allow yourself just to experience what it feels like, just to be at ease without having to try and control anything, without having to steer the experience, you just allow yourself just to gently flow backwards and forwards. Now, if your energy really starts to flow, you might find yourself needing to take a step backwards or taking a step forward so you don't fall over. And that's fine, because this is also an opportunity to notice when your energy flows, what do you do with it? Do you try and put the brakes on? Or are you just like to go with the flow? Because right now, with all the changes and tensions in the world, I can tell you that you'd be much better off going with the flow rather than trying to steer the experience and control the world. And in the nature of Qigong, we learn how to go with the flow, which means that we don't get so bothered or disturbed by the things that are going on whilst we're building our resilience and enjoyment of life. So it has many superb benefits, just this exercise of letting go and flow. Simple, really. Simple. And now just allow things to gently slow down on their own, like a feather just gently falls to the ground. You don't have to shove it on the ground. You allow it to gently come to that gentle stop where it naturally rests. And in this rest, where we're coming back to that original position that we were in, standing upright and relaxing, we just notice what it's like to rest in stillness. And it's not absolute stillness, because there's still breathing, movement, blood flow, energy flow, thoughts. But it's relative stillness where you don't have to do anything. You don't have to make any effort. Just relaxing into not doing anything at all, really. And just notice what that's like for you. Notice what it's like for you right now just to be standing and being. Standing and being. What's that like, standing and being? And in standing and being, you don't have to measure it. You don't have to think, is this good or bad? Should it be any different than this? It just is as it is for you right now as you are. to really just be there as you are. And then gently think of your area roughly 2-3 inches below your navel, a couple of inches in your dantian area, the chi high. And then rub your palms together. Rub your palms together. Dab the eyes. Massage around the face. And then the head. Good. And then give a little shake. Just go, yes, I'm nice and loose and I'm here. See what it feels like. That's good. That's it. I can't do the floss, so I can only do this. Okay, and then have a little wander around wherever it is that you're in your room. Very good. And then after your Qigong, don't go do anything that requires a lot of effort. Sometimes you don't want to go and talk to anybody, that's fine. And don't go and get disturbed by something that's busy and rushing either. Just take that time just to slide back into it nice and gently as well.
Beautiful. Thank you.
Thanks for the opportunity. It's nice. I love this.
I've missed you. Your work is so cool.
Likewise.
It's simplicity. You know, we don't. When you start withdrawing into your own space because of your isolation, it's everybody that I'm talking to is talking about doing things easy and simple, looking for ease. You know, 4 weeks we've got in isolation, and we're pretty comfortable here. But there's going to be other people in apartments in cities where they're more challenged, and that simple thing is really helpful. That's lovely. Your that Qigong work. As you were doing it, I was going, oh yeah, let me mention that. That's a real cool thing to mention. I can't remember anything that you said now, so I'm in this really quite nice, cool space. And I teach that. I do that every day, and I do my yoga twice a day, every day, and I've done that for 4 years now. My commitment to myself is 15 minutes. 20 minutes minimum before noon and 20 minutes after. And so I do have a regular practice. And one of the things about that regular practice for me is that if I don't want to do it, I still do it. And if I want to do it, I still do it. So there's no option. I have to do it sometime. And I think, and all truthfully, I don't think I've ever begrudged it. I think maybe once or twice or 3 times I've gone, oh no, do I have to do my yoga? But after a few minutes, it's changed. So I'm going to ask you a question. How often would you suggest that we do something like this, or a practice, now that we're in pretty much world shutdown isolation?
Okay, it's going to come as a big surprise for you. Twice a day.
Oh, lucky me. Huh?
15 to 20 minute practice twice a day. And also what I say to the students sometimes is, look, if you feel like you can't be bothered to do it because it just feels like, do you know what, I'm on that downward spiral of lackluster, say, hey, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to make a commitment just to stand upright for 3 relaxed breaths. Yeah? And then if I don't want to do it after that, I won't do it. Okay?
Yeah.
Mouth gently open, breathe in through your nose, out through your mouth, in through your nose, out through. Do it 3 times. Smile from your heart. Okay? Smile from the heart. And then see where you are.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
Because for most people, if not everybody, when they do that, they go, ah.
Yeah, nice. Yeah.
I can just lift my arms now. And then you're already in it. You're already back in the flow. Yeah. So that makes it really simple.
Yeah, smiling from the heart, having that uplifting shape that you create, just having that image of your heart smiling is really a very cool experience. See, but don't necessarily limit to 20 minutes because that's my minimum. So it goes on to half an hour, an hour and a half, sometimes 2.5 hours. We just start rolling around. My wife Lucy does that yoga with me pretty much every day, particularly in the evenings, but sometimes mornings too.
So I'll just if I add to that is that if you're doing just the entering a Qigong state of mind, lift in the sky, chi flow stillness, that's a 15 to 20 minute practice, and you then want to go and do that for an hour or 2.
Yes.
Okay, so because otherwise it'd be overtraining, it'd be too much for people. If you're practicing other stuff like you and I do, and lots of other people do,
Yeah.
then my morning practice, I start with a different practice. I start actually with the bone yoga and then the Zen yoga, and then I do my down yin exercises, and then I do my Qigong exercises, and then I do my Kung Fu exercises.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. And then in the evening time, it's a shorter session where it's a lot more gentle on myself. So the morning time builds up all the energy, and then the evening time, it just starts coming to a more restful one. But at the very basic level, as long as people are doing something where they're relaxing, breathing, and then just being aware of themselves, then positive things start to happen. And that starts that cycle and change.
Yes.
And then, as you say, don't limit yourself to anything. Go with the flow and see what feels appropriate for you. And then you're never going to overtrain or undertrain, are you?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's always going to be right.
Yeah, and the other thing that for me feels really important now is that sense of flow, fluid. So I'm working much more when I'm moving. I'm working, instead of engaging the ligaments or the fascia, that I'm moving in a fluid way. And because I don't want to keep coming up against stuff, because there's a lot of stuff we need to keep coming up against. And I'm enjoying that a lot. You've got loads of stuff on zenarts.co.uk, correct?
I have also on the Zen Arts YouTube channel.
Okay.
There's Zen Arts, which is a dance company in America, which isn't me. And there's Zen Arts YouTube channel, which is me, and that's got all the Qigong stuff. There's more videos on there than my website.
Okay.
But if you go on my website, you can at least get to the video channels.
I'll put some links there, and just to let everybody know, there's Tim has been doing this a long time. He's got lots of really cool videos. Can we have another chat? When do you want to come back? Can you go through and do Carrying the Moon and maybe some other simple things as well?
Yeah, I will. I'll share some of my... Actually, there's a couple of things that I'd really like to share for people.
Yes.
Our practice. So pushing mountains.
Yes.
So lifting the sky is the great one because it does all things.
I do that every morning.
Yeah. Carrying the moon.
I do that every morning.
Pushing mountains because that builds lots of energy.
I do that every morning.
And one finger shooting Zen.
I do 2 finger shooting Zen. And I love, they're so cool. They are really, really cool. They're so simple. It's not esoteric. It's moving your body. It's moving your mind. It's moving your breath. And I say to people, if there's only two things that I could do out of all the things I know, it would be lifting the sky and carrying the moon, period, done. I wouldn't do anything else.
Yeah.
And I hope that doesn't come. So Tim, we're going to sign off now, but we'll carry on talking once I've stopped the video so we can chat. But I do appreciate that, Tim. Thank you so much. You're such a good guy.
And thank you as well for inviting me on. It's been really great to connect like this.
It's been really cool. Thanks. Thank you, Tim.
Ciao. Good stuff. Ciao.